The unyielding human drive to explore the unknown, to push the boundaries of what we can achieve among the stars. To let such profound capabilities lie dormant would be to betray the essence of our existence. While visions of lunar return encounter mounting obstacles elsewhere, China has unleashed a sequence of breakthroughs that could redefine the pace of humanity's cosmic journey. On February 11, 2026, China conducted what's called a Max-Q abort test. If you don't know what that means, let me put it this way. It's one of the most dangerous, most critical safety tests in all of human spaceflight. It's the test where you prove that, if everything goes catastrophically wrong during the most violent part of launch, your escape system can still save the crew. NASA hasn't done this test for Artemis yet. China already has. And that's just the beginning. Because what China is building right now isn't just a pathway to the moon. It's an entire integrated system so elegantly engineered that it might actually achieve a crewed lunar landing ahead of both NASA and SpaceX. And here's the most shocking part. They're doing it with streamlined development, focused resources, and a dual launch strategy that makes competing approaches look unnecessarily convoluted and expensive. This isn't merely about reaching the surface first. China is engineering a sustainable leap into deep space. And by the time you finish watching this video, you'll understand why their methodical approach might prove to be the masterstroke that accelerates humanity's multiplanetary future. Let's start with the plan itself. China's approach to sending humans to the lunar surface diverges sharply from the single massive vehicle concepts of the past. It's distinct from the ambitious but complex architectures being pursued by others. The Apollo missions relied on one colossal Saturn V to hurl the entire stack toward the moon. Current plans involve powerful new systems paired with advanced landers that demand unprecedented integration. China examined these paths and chose innovation through modularity. Here's how their vision unfolds. Launch number 1 sends a Long March 10 rocket lofting the Mengzhou crew spacecraft into a trajectory toward the moon, carrying astronauts ready for the voyage. Launch number 2 deploys another Long March 10, carrying the Lanyu lunar lander to rendezvous in lunar orbit. The vehicles meet and dock with precision honed from years of space station operations, but this time 384,000 kilometers away from Earth. 2 astronauts transfer into the lander, while 1 remains aboard Mengzhou in orbit. The Lanyu descends through the vacuum, touching down with pinpoint accuracy on the lunar terrain. The crew conducts an intense initial exploration phase, lasting several hours, gathering priceless samples, deploying instruments, and experiencing the moon's alien environment firsthand. Then the ascent stage ignites flawlessly, returning them to orbit for redocking with their orbiting companion. Together, they fire the engines for the journey home. This 2-launch strategy is pure engineering brilliance. It eliminates the need for a single ultra-heavy rocket capable of lifting everything at once, allowing China to utilize a highly capable yet more manageable vehicle launched twice, optimizing development time, cost, and reliability for rapid progress. So, let's talk about that rocket. The Long March 10 represents a monumental leap in Chinese launch capability, standing approximately 92.5 meters tall in its full lunar configuration. It features a trio of 5-meter diameter cores, each powered by 7 advanced YF-100K kerosene liquid oxygen engines, delivering a staggering combined lift-off thrust exceeding 2,600 metric tons. This configuration enables it to deliver around 27 metric tons to translunar injection, perfectly matched to the demands of their mission hardware. Rather than chasing entirely novel propulsion technologies fraught with unknowns, China has refined and scaled their proven OYF-100 engine family. Engines with an extensive flight heritage that ensures dependability under extreme conditions. In 2025, they executed critical static fire tests, igniting clusters of these powerful engines simultaneously, pushing the boundaries of their largest propulsion demonstrations to date. These weren't simulations or digital models. These were roaring, fire-breathing hardware tests, generating immense forces and yielding invaluable real-world data on vibration, thermal management, and synchronized performance. The February 11th, 2026 test flight of a prototype configuration marked another historic milestone, validating ascent dynamics alongside the abort scenario. Full orbital debut is targeted soon after, paving the way for operational lunar missions by the late 2000s. Adding to the vision, China is advancing reusable elements for the Long March 10 family. Booster cores are designed for propulsive recovery and potential catch systems using advanced guidance, dramatically slashing per-launch costs. When you're contemplating dozens of flights to construct a permanent lunar outpost, such efficiency becomes not just advantageous, but essential for sustained exploration. The crew spacecraft that will transport Chinese astronauts to the moon and back is the Mengzhou, translating to Dream Vessel. This next-generation vehicle is engineered as a versatile deep space platform, far surpassing previous capsules in volume, capabilities, and endurance. It consists of a pressurized return module for the crew and a service module housing propulsion, power generation, and life support systems critical for the long journey. In low Earth orbit operations supporting their space station, it can accommodate up to 7 astronauts. For the more demanding lunar flights, the crew complement is 3, balancing capability with the constraints of the voyage. The vehicle's design incorporates advanced thermal protection, robust docking mechanisms, and redundant systems for the harsh environment beyond Earth's magnetosphere. In 2025, China successfully performed a zero-altitude escape test, demonstrating the integrated launch abort system by propelling the capsule away from a simulated failure right on the pad, with parachutes deploying and airbags ensuring a soft touchdown. But the true testament to their commitment came during that February 11th max-Q abort. At the peak of aerodynamic stress, where forces buffet the vehicle mercilessly as it punches through the atmosphere, the escape motors fired, cleanly separating Mengzhou from the booster. The capsule arced away safely, deployed its recovery systems, and achieved the first sea splashdown and recovery of such a vehicle. This level of rigorous human rating testing signals deep confidence. It follows the meticulous checklist required before committing lives to the rocket. Upcoming orbital demonstrations will further validate rendezvous, docking, and deep space operations, building an unbroken chain of proven performance. The lunar lander, named Lanyu meaning embracing the moon, draws from poetic heritage but represents cutting-edge 26-ton engineering optimized for the unforgiving lunar surface. This sophisticated machine must function as transport, temporary habitat, power plant, and scientific platform for 2 explorers. In 2025, engineers completed a comprehensive landing and ascent verification test at a specialized facility replicating lunar gravity and regolith conditions. The prototype demonstrated controlled descent propulsion, leg deployment on uneven simulated terrain, stable touchdown sequences, engine shutdown protocols, and the critical ascent burn. These ground validations address the lander's notorious complexity, the component that has challenged every lunar program. Descent demands precise throttling through vacuum with no atmospheric braking, navigating hazards via advanced sensors and autonomous guidance to avoid craters or boulders. Once landed, systems must maintain thermal control against swings from -170 to over 100 degrees Celsius, manage abrasive dust, and provide reliable power. The ascent stage, carrying the crew back to orbit, has zero margin for error. Its engines must ignite perfectly on command after sitting exposed on the surface. By tackling these challenges through early, iterative testing and transparent demonstration, China showcases proactive risk mitigation and engineering maturity. The Lanyu will not only ferry the crew, but enable meaningful surface activity, scientific discovery, and pave the way for extended stays in subsequent missions. Now here's where China's strategy reveals its profound foresight. While perfecting the hardware for crewed flight, they're simultaneously deploying the supporting infrastructure that will make lunar operations reliable and productive long before humans arrive. Years earlier, the Queqiao-2 relay satellite was placed in a halo orbit around the Moon, establishing robust communication links, especially vital for the far side, where direct Earth contact is impossible due to tidal locking. High bandwidth, low latency connections ensure real-time telemetry, video feeds, and command uplinks, transforming potential isolation into seamless mission support. Complementing this, experimental satellites like Tiandu have tested elements of a lunar navigation network, laying groundwork for a constellation, providing precise positioning data akin to GPS, but for the Moon and cislunar space. Currently, surface navigation relies on celestial references and inertial systems with accumulating errors. A dedicated network would enable accurate localization anywhere, enhancing safety for rovers, habitats, and astronauts during traverses. Plans for a broader Earth-Moon communication and positioning architecture in strategic orbits promise to turn the Moon into an accessible frontier. This infrastructure isn't an afterthought. It's a strategic enabler that multiplies mission effectiveness, reduces risks, and positions China as a key provider of lunar services for potential international partners. Such forward thinking multiplies the value of every crewed landing. The new lunar EVA suit underscores attention to the human element. Far from conceptual art, a functional prototype was demonstrated with live mobility tests, including dynamic movements that prove astronauts can effectively work in 1/6 gravity while protected from vacuum, temperature extremes, micrometeoroids, and the pervasive razor-sharp lunar dust. The suit's design incorporates advanced materials for flexibility, joint articulation, and dust sealing, allowing hours of productive extravehicular activity for sample collection, instrument setup, and geological exploration. These suits will transform short visits into scientifically rich expeditions. Let's examine the contrasting reality with ongoing efforts to return humans to the Moon through other programs. The Artemis 3 mission, intended to achieve the first crewed landing in decades, faces repeated postponements. As of February 2026, the target has shifted to no earlier than 2028 amid persistent technical challenges with the human landing system, pressure suits, and integration complexities. The development of a massive reusable lander encounters hurdles in cryogenic propellant management, orbital refueling demonstrations, and reliable surface operations in the harsh polar environment. Each delay compounds costs and erodes momentum, turning what should be an inspiring endeavor into a frustrating saga of incremental progress. In stark contrast, China's program advances with disciplined cadence, achieving major test objectives on schedule and maintaining transparency through public demonstrations of hardware in action. Their 2030 goal for a crewed landing carries deep significance, aligning with national milestones that galvanize resources and resolve. The 80-year anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic approaches in 2029, infusing the timeline with unyielding political imperative. Deadlines tied to such historic dates possess extraordinary power to focus effort and overcome obstacles. This fusion of engineering excellence and strategic ambition creates conditions where timelines are not suggestions but commitments. This dual launch, infrastructure-first methodology offers distinct advantages in reliability and scalability. By distributing mass across 2 proven launches rather than one gargantuan effort, each component can be optimized independently, tested thoroughly, and iterated upon without the cascading risks of a monolithic design. The Long March 10, while immensely powerful, builds upon evolutionary advancements rather than revolutionary leaps into uncharted territory, allowing faster maturation. When paired with the reusable booster technologies under development, launch costs could plummet, enabling not just one landing but a campaign of missions to establish footholds, scientific outposts, and eventually permanent bases. Imagine Chinese astronauts not only planting footprints but deploying solar arrays, excavating regolith for radiation shielding, and conducting experiments on in-situ resource utilization that unlock oxygen and fuel production from lunar soil. Such steps would mark the transition from exploration to settlement, positioning China at the vanguard of a new space economy centered on the moon's resources like helium-3 for potential fusion energy or rare minerals for advanced technologies. Yet the true genius lies in how this approach fosters resilience. Should one launch encounter an issue, the modular nature allows for contingencies that a single-stack mission cannot match. The extensive pre-mission robotic precursors and communication relays minimize surprises during crewed phases. And by achieving these milestones with focused investment, China demonstrates that bold lunar ambitions need not require unlimited budgets, but rather smart architecture and relentless execution. While SpaceX pioneers rapid reusability and envisions vast Starship fleets for Mars, their contributions to near-term lunar landings through partnerships face synchronization challenges with governmental timelines and requirements. China's state-coordinated program integrates all elements under unified command, potentially allowing them to cross the finish line first in the race to return humans to the lunar surface. As these developments unfold, the implications ripple far beyond national pride. A successful Chinese crewed landing would reignite global interest in space, proving that the moon is within reach not just for superpowers of the past, but for determined nations today. It could spark a renaissance in STEM education, inspire new generations to pursue careers in engineering and science, and accelerate international cooperation as others seek to join or complement the emerging lunar infrastructure. Scientifically, access to the lunar South Pole's shadowed craters promises water ice deposits that could sustain life support and propellant depots, turning the moon into a gateway for deeper solar system voyages. China's methodical progress signals that the barriers to expansion are surmountable through ingenuity and persistence. The cosmos awaits those bold enough to grasp it. China's journey to the moon embodies the pinnacle of human potential when unified purpose meets technical mastery. Will this achievement herald a new era of shared exploration, or intensify the competitive spirit that has always propelled us forward? The answer lies in how the world responds to this moment of awakening. If witnessing the elegance of this strategy and the audacity of these timelines has stirred your sense of wonder and curiosity about our place in the universe, then take action today. Subscribe to stay immersed in the unfolding story of humanity's greatest adventure. Leave a comment sharing which aspect of China's approach excites you most, or what challenges you foresee in this new space race. Share this video with friends and family who dream of the stars, spreading the inspiration far and wide. And ponder this deeply. In a world of possibilities, what role will you play in ensuring humanity claims its destiny among the heavens? The moon is calling. The time to answer is now.